Thailand and Cambodia, neighbors bound by geography, two nations, side by side in Southeast Asia, sharing a vibrant tapestry of culture and history. For centuries, their histories have been deeply intertwined, a complex narrative woven with threads of cooperation and conflict. For centuries, they shared culture, traditions passed down through generations, religion, and even royalty, forging alliances and dynastic connections that blurred the lines between kingdoms. This close proximity fostered a unique cultural exchange, with languages and people crossing borders freely, intermingling and shaping each other's identities. But their relationship has also been marked by periods of rivalry and conflict, disputes over land and power that left lasting scars. These tensions were further shaped by shifting empires and redrawn boundaries, legacies of colonial influence that continue to resonate today. The border, a physical manifestation of this complex history, stretching over 800 kilometers, cuts through jungles and communities, dividing landscapes and livelihoods. These are ancient villages, their roots running deeper than the modern concept of nations themselves. As national identities solidified in the 20th century, fueled by independence movements and the rise of nationalism, this line became a symbol of sovereignty, a demarcation of territory and identity. But it also became a flashpoint for tension, a source of ongoing disputes and occasional conflict. At the heart of this friction lies Preah Vihear, a majestic testament to a shared past, a breathtaking ancient temple perched dramatically on a cliff overlooking the plains below. This architectural marvel, claimed by both countries, stands as a potent symbol of their intertwined yet contested history. This sacred site, known as Preah Vihear to Cambodians, a place of pilgrimage and national pride, and Preah Vihear to Thais, revered for its historical and spiritual significance, became the epicenter of a modern border dispute, a focal point for nationalistic sentiment and territorial claims. The question, how did a shared relic, a symbol of cultural heritage, become a symbol of bitter division? The answer is a story of imperial ambition, the scramble for territory and influence in Southeast Asia, colonial maps, often drawn with little regard for local realities, and the powerful force of nationalism, shaping perceptions and fueling conflict. To understand Preah Vihear is to understand how history shapes the present, how the past continues to influence the present, and how a line on a map, seemingly arbitrary, can still dictate lives and destinies today. Preah Vihear is more than ancient ruins. It's a monument to the Khmer Empire, whose influence once stretched across Southeast Asia. Built atop a sheer cliff, the temple was a spiritual and strategic masterpiece, dedicated to Shiva and designed as a pilgrimage from earth to the realm of the gods. Its carvings tell stories from Hindu mythology, and for centuries it drew worshippers from across the Khmer and Siamese worlds. For Thais, the temple's style and history are part of their own heritage, reflecting centuries of cultural exchange. This shared legacy makes the dispute deeply personal for both nations. Preah Vihear stands as a silent witness to a glorious past, and a symbol both countries passionately claim. It is a legacy carved in stone, linking two peoples and fueling a modern conflict. The roots of the Preah Vihear dispute lie not in ancient times, but in colonial-era map-making. In the early 1900s, French colonialists and Siamese officials tried to define the border, agreeing it should follow the natural watershed. But the 1907 Annex I map drawn by the French placed Preah Vihear on the Cambodian side, deviating from the watershed principle. Thailand received the map but did not formally protest, a silence that would have lasting consequences. For decades, the discrepancy went unnoticed, the border was remote, and the temple rarely visited. As both countries gained independence, the colonial-era ambiguity became a ticking time bomb. The map left two competing truths: the geography of the land and the lines drawn by colonial powers. This colonial fingerprint would become the central evidence in a legal battle over the temple's fate. The legacy of imperial cartography set the stage for decades of dispute. By the 1950s, the simmering dispute over the ancient temple of Preah Vihear was rapidly escalating, becoming a major point of contention between Cambodia and Thailand. The situation surrounding Preah Vihear had reached a critical juncture, threatening to destabilize the already fragile peace in the region. Following Cambodia's independence, Thai forces moved to occupy the temple grounds, asserting their claim based on geographical proximity and the natural watershed line. Cambodia, however, firmly maintained its stance, presenting a detailed map that they argued unequivocally demonstrated their rightful ownership of the temple. But with diplomatic efforts proving fruitless and tensions continuing to rise, Cambodia made the bold decision to bring the complex and sensitive case before the International Court of Justice in 1959, seeking a definitive resolution to the long-standing conflict. In its arguments, Thailand insisted that the border delineation should naturally follow the watershed line in the area. Cambodia, in response, strategically countered that Thailand's prolonged silence and lack of objection over many years effectively implied their tacit acceptance of the contested map. As the legal proceedings unfolded, the core of the case gradually shifted away from a simple dispute over geographical boundaries. It evolved into a complex examination of international law principles and the established norms of state conduct in international relations. Finally, in 1962, the ICJ delivered its verdict, ruling decisively by a vote of 9-3 in favor of Cambodia. The court's decision hinged significantly on Thailand's prolonged failure to formally challenge the validity of the map for a period spanning 5 decades. Consequently, Thailand received a clear order to withdraw all of its military forces from the temple area, a resounding and celebrated victory for Cambodia on the international stage, but also a deeply felt and bitter blow to the national pride of Thailand and its people. While the verdict provided a definitive answer to the legal questions surrounding the temple, it did little to quell the deep-seated emotions and address the underlying tensions that continued to simmer beneath the surface. The fate of the ancient temple had been formally decided within the confines of the courtroom, but the broader dispute, fueled by historical grievances and nationalistic sentiments, was destined to continue for years to come. The ICJ ruling, rather than bringing closure, inadvertently served as a potent rallying point for fervent nationalism on both sides of the border. In essence, the seeds of future conflict and instability in the region had been irrevocably sown, setting the stage for further disputes. After the 1962 ruling, an uneasy peace settled over Preah Vihear, but resentment simmered in Thailand. For years, access to the temple was mostly from the Thai side, as Cambodia struggled with war and instability. In 2007, Cambodia sought UNESCO World Heritage status for Preah Vihear, hoping to boost tourism and international recognition. In Thailand, the move sparked outrage. Many feared it would legitimize Cambodia's claim to disputed land around the temple. Nationalist groups in Thailand accused their government of betraying the country, turning the UNESCO bid into a political crisis. Despite protests, Cambodia's bid succeeded in 2008, celebrated at home but met with fury across the border. The UNESCO designation, meant to honor shared heritage, instead reignited old grievances. Military tensions quickly escalated, and the border became a flashpoint once again. The temple was no longer just a monument. It was a test of national pride. The stage was set for the most violent clashes in decades. The UNESCO decision unleashed a wave of nationalism in both countries. In Thailand, the temple became a symbol of lost territory, fueling protests and political turmoil. Cambodian leaders used Preah Vihear to rally public support, framing it as a symbol of sovereignty and resilience. Media and politicians on both sides stoked patriotic fervor, turning history into a weapon. Schools taught rival versions of the temple's story. Social media became a battleground of insults and accusations. Compromise was seen as betrayal, and dialogue drowned out by nationalist rhetoric. The shared heritage of Preah Vihear was forgotten, replaced by a zero-sum contest for ownership. Nationalism had transformed a legal dispute into a dangerous emotional conflict. In 2008, the standoff turned violent. Thousands of troops faced off around Preah Vihear, a site meant for peace. Skirmishes escalated into artillery duels in 2011, with shells raining down on both sides and the temple itself sustaining damage. The fighting forced tens of thousands of villagers to flee shattering communities that once lived in harmony. The conflict spread to other ancient sites, causing further destruction of shared heritage. Soldiers and civilians paid the price with lives lost and families uprooted. The world watched in shock as a World Heritage Site became a battlefield. The violence drew international condemnation and highlighted the destructive power of nationalism. The echoes of gunfire on that sacred mountain were a grim warning. The cost was measured not just in casualties but in the loss of trust and shared history. Preah Vihear became a symbol of how quickly history can be weaponized. Beyond the grand stage of politics and the formal settings of courtrooms where decisions are made and debated, the conflict's true impact was most profoundly felt by those living in its immediate shadow, the everyday people whose lives were irrevocably altered. Saun, a Cambodian farmer who had tilled the same land for generations, recalled a time of vibrant trade and genuine friendships with their Thai neighbors, a period of harmony before the soldiers arrived and disrupted their peaceful existence. Neighbors, who were once like family, were suddenly cast as enemies overnight, a stark and painful transformation. Young soldiers on both sides, many of them far from their own homes and families, privately questioned the true purpose and justification of the seemingly endless fight, grappling with the moral complexities of the situation. As they faced men, not so different from themselves, across the seemingly arbitrary line that divided them, monks, the dedicated spiritual guardians of the ancient temple, fervently prayed for peace and an end to the senseless violence amid the constant threat of shelling, their chants echoing through the sacred grounds. Reminding all who would listen that Preah Vihear, a symbol of shared history and artistry, was always meant to unite people, not to serve as a battleground for division. Local guides who once thrived on the steady stream of visitors now mourned the devastating loss of cross-border tourism and the countless friendships that had once flourished so vibrantly in this border region. The escalating conflict built not just imposing physical barriers of concrete and barbed wire, but also formidable walls of resentment and mistrust in the minds and hearts of the people. Many still dare to hope for a brighter day when the border is simply a line on a map, not a heavily fortified wall that divides communities. These deeply personal stories poignantly reveal the true and often unseen cost of conflict. Lost friendships that may never be rekindled, shattered communities struggling to rebuild, and a shared cultural heritage tragically held hostage by the destructive forces of nationalism and territorial disputes. The resilient people of the Borderlands continue to long for a lasting peace, a peace that transcends political boundaries, and the hopeful return of a shared past, a time when cooperation and mutual respect define their relationship. Their enduring voices serve as a powerful reminder that history is not just written in textbooks, but is actively lived and experienced by real people. The true human toll of this protracted conflict is ultimately measured in the countless broken ties and the vast number of lost opportunities. Only genuine reconciliation and a commitment to understanding can truly heal these deep and enduring wounds, paving the way for a more peaceful future. As violence threatened to spiral out of control in 2011, ASEAN and the UN intervened, brokering a ceasefire and sending observers. The conflict returned to the courtroom, with Cambodia asking the ICJ to clarify its 1962 ruling. In 2013, the court confirmed that the promontory of Preah Vihear belonged to Cambodia, urging both nations to cooperate in protecting the site. Both sides accepted the verdict, wary of further bloodshed. Today, an uneasy peace prevails. Soldiers have pulled back, and tourists and monks have returned. The main gate from Thailand remains closed, but Cambodia has improved access from its side. Ongoing talks aim to resolve remaining border issues and manage the World Heritage Site together. The path forward is cautious cooperation, recognizing that dialogue, not confrontation, secures the temple's future. Preah Vihear stands as a lesson in the dangers of nationalism and the importance of preserving shared heritage. Its story is a reminder: peace is fragile, but possible, when history is used to build bridges, not walls.